Biscuits and tea.
34 period 99.
Boom!
Boom. Welcome back to fucking Biscuits and Tea, bitches.
Welcome into the fucking podcast.
Guest.
Jesus. Yes.
Tyler back. It's really good. You know, you're actually part of Biscuits and Tea. You're one of the, like, you know, on those shows where they have like just a revolving guests. You never know if some people are going to be there. It's kind of like Shark Tank. You know, Shark Tank, they start rotating
when did
people.
They start rotating
like Mark Cuban. Okay, he's not here this week, but no big deal.
Who would watch Shark Tank without Mark Cuban?
Oh, no, I'm Mark Cuban. Yeah. Who would Will be on Shark Tank?
You're Mark Cuban.
I'm the Damon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm Damon.
Not because of anything.
Not because of the race. He's cool. He's got some cool shit going on. I like it. I would probably choose to be one of the. All the girls on there are fucking badasses.
Yeah.
Sarah Blakely.
I like the older one. The older one's.
Tyler's that old
Barbara?
that everyone likes.
Barbara.
The bald dude that says some ridiculous shit all the time.
My personality is like so far off of the bald dude.
Yeah, no, the bald dude's very precise. You are also very
precise.
Stubborn.
He's super stubborn, and that's you.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to be like when you're 60. Like you're going to be that.
Yeah.
Like you're just not going to have the same viewpoint.
No, I'm going to be on a beach when I'm 60.
He's on a beach, probably.
Not going to be.
He goes to the beach.
He's in the Shark Tank.
Yeah,
the Shark Tank's not a beach.
I love how you're dead set. You're like those people who have that idea that they're going to live on the beach and they want to be on the beach and like.
I'm not going to live on the beach.
Okay.
I'm going to spend a lot of time.
There you go. Then say that, because there's this idea in society that people are like, get money, get rich, 60, and they just go sit on the beach. You can do that for a day, a week, a month, maybe.
Is that the pinnacle though? Is that like?
Well, it depends. Yeah. It depends.
It's not.
It depends what beach you're on. So.
Does it? Explain to me then what beach you could just live on for 30 years and just be so happy you don't care about anything?
Oh, I could go to YPO for 30 years.
YPO. Sounds great.
That sounds horrible. Is Patrick Mahomes there? Because all I care about when I'm 60 is I'm watching Patrick Mahomes. So he's going to play for 45 years.
Mahomes has been to YPO. Where's YPO?
Probably. He looks like it's in Hawaii.
Look at him. Look at that throw.
Jeez, it's just incredible.
He never when he throws, he never looks like he's trying. Ever.
No, it's too easy. Wait, who did the Washington Redskins? Who have you guys signed? I feel bad that I even just said that word. I should be fired.
We signed. We haven't really signed too many guys. We got back Kendall Fuller.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We took him back, which is good.
Yeah, no one cares about anything.
I don't think we haven't really been signing anyone right now.
Well,
you're aware, just so you know, Tyler, we still yet cannot. I haven't seen any of the footage of our Man United videos, shoots, whatever. But don't.
I saw mine.
No, I mean the edited version.
Return. Oh, okay.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I would just don't say who is there. That's all I'm saying yet, because this will still probably come out well before.
Oh my gosh. In my interview, I had the worst habit where I would just say yes after like you would like say something. I mean, like it was just, I don't even know what it was from. It would just be like confirming whatever you're saying was right.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know.
No, it's actually a good habit. It shows that you're paying attention. In normal conversation, that's what you do. Like, can you imagine? Because that's also one of the things you have to learn on podcasts and stuff like that is you guys, we realize that there are people listening to this. They don't need to hear you go, yeah, yeah.
I know.
And then,
That's
right. They don't want to hear that. And so like when you're doing, it's even weirder because I did a podcast with this guy who wrote this book where he actually interviews, and I can say it on this one. He interviews Pete Carroll, which you guys will appreciate, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he talks about how fucking badass Pete Carroll is and what he's done and why and the things behind it and how he's trying to like hack the brain and try to get these guys in the flow state, but they can't call it meditation and shit like that because you got guys in the NFL. These guys, they don't want to hear about that because it's fucking football. It's, you know, and you gotta fire. They don't want to hear about that. So he had to figure out a way in order to teach these guys how to be in the flow state without telling them to sit down and meditate.
He's just the definition of a player's coach.
He is, dude. But you know that this book, I learned everything about this dude. They at the beginning, they thought he was a little weak ass bitch. Like they thought he had New England. Like when he was coaching New England, he would come up to players after
What was
losses.
he in New England?
Yeah.
He was there and gone, dude. He was probably, I don't know how many years now, before or after. No, so it's before Belichick, obviously.
Yeah.
Who was there? Well,
I wouldn't know this. Yeah. So this was like
exactly.
was like 96.
Exactly. It was back then, and
he's like
he
a
got
tiny
the job.
little guy. Yeah, he's a tiny little guy.
Yeah.
Imagine him walking up to you after you lose a game in the NFL, like some assistant coach, some 5'8" assistant coach who's coming up to you and, hey, buddy, it's okay. And just next time you got to do better.
That was it. That was the problem. Someone of the players, they were going, why is he not screaming at? Like, and so he had to learn, like, okay, some players I need to scream at.
Yeah.
Some players I need to help them. Other players I need to just let them be silent and talk to them the day after when they're able to. Like, so
it's crazy how many coaches don't recognize that you have to treat different players differently, and that you just try to have like your same like motivation like system for every single player on a team of like 20 or however many guys you have on a team. It's insane how many guys try and do that. Yeah,
no, of course, because it's easier for the coach, but that's also, I think we have that problem in U.S. soccer. I mean, I don't mean like the actual, I mean like the lower level coaches.
Everything.
Yeah, I think in the.
You think they're too passive?
No, I don't know if that. I mean that they don't, because they're not educated enough about the game, and also not being educated enough about the game makes you think, and it's easier, dude. It's easier to just scream at your whole team.
Oh,
know, B knows a coach, and who I, at least for now, I won't mention, who just his answer to everything is just to scream and try harder. You're not trying. It's.
And that is football. Why? That's football culture, like American football culture, and then. That's American basketball culture too. Like look at Bobby Knight and Bill Self and all these guys who they scream the entire game. And like, yeah, obviously it's effective in certain sports, but those coaches are so involved in the play calling and all that kind of stuff. Soccer.
Basketball and football are both coaches' games.
Yeah.
That's where I would call those coaches. Soccer's 100% a player's game. Like you set up your tactics before the game, and then once they're on the field, like you can make minor changes, but it's not like you're calling plays. You're not micromanaging everything, or at least you can't. Some coaches try, but you're not really able to micromanage too much.
Oof, those micromanaging soccer coaches are really bad. David, pass it left back. Michael, come back. Like it's, dude, you're gonna have a heart attack.
What about the KC Legends guy? Who's like, he's standing on the sideline. He's like, do the step over, turn, 360 spin. Like they have names for the skill moves they do.
He brings an Xbox controller and he's trying to press circle.
It's nuts, dude.
No, they hit him with the 360 Madonna. They would say shit like that, dude.
And then like some kid just come through and just wipe them out on the sideline.
No. Yeah, that is part of that's a huge issue too, is that you cannot create these robot kids that have.
But would you just? I don't know. I'd kind of assume that's an issue with coaching lower level everywhere. Like the coaches who are coaching lower level probably are the ones who haven't figured that out.
I don't know. Maybe. Isn't there's got to be lower level coaches that have high level jobs that manage people and understand that you have to figure out different solutions for different problems. Therefore,
I would just think they'd be the outliers.
They must be probably the outliers. Yeah.
So this is a good topic. Like, what's a good like little story times moment that we can do? What is the craziest thing that like a coach has ever like screamed at you, or like a situation where it's like, why is he yelling, or why is he yelling that, or like it was just like bizarre?
Zach Thornton.
What happened?
Yeah, he just like I like him. Like as a person, like he wants, but like if you like miss a service, like you're serving to the goalkeepers. This is when I was training with DC United. If it's like not on their chest, it's a little off to the left, a little off to the right. Just hit the fucking target. I'm trying. I know I am very aware of what my goal is here is to put the ball where you say to put the ball. Like, and if you mishit it, like that's not. I don't know. If it's like if it's like. Keep you tense and
there's like no technique, so like there's not like, hey, just adjust your body here, or like hit the ball.
No,
there's nothing like that.
This is
fucking fix it. Yeah,
but this is
what I don't understand. No. I want to fix it. I do. I swear. Like Well,
this is a little different than that because like at that level, like MLS level, like it's not like you're not going to be fixing people's technique on how they serve
All
the
right,
ball.
so let's take every goalkeeper in the MLS, and I want to see them ping a ball on someone's chest 10 times in a row. If they don't do it, then they're failures. I don't think a single goalkeeper in the MLS could ping a ball 10 times in a row in the same spot, 5 times in a row.
They get pretty close. No, right in the middle. I don't know.
They can get it. They can get it to where I would say most of them would get it to. They could hit 10 out of 10 where the keeper doesn't have to leave their feet.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we need to understand how weird it is for us to have to just have no pressure and just ping the ball, and everything is played at a different thing. Like the crosses, having to cross to you in Washington, I have to now I can't cross with the idea of someone running onto it, a moving target. No, it has to be right at the spot, right? So he can jump right at the spot. Straight up.
It's not right at the spot. It is in a general vicinity, but it is a different type of service. And really what screws you guys up the most is timing. As so many of our drills are like very timing based.
Yeah, because everything about being in a game where you're, having to save shots, they make sure to hit that timing. And everything's at the right angles. I don't understand. It just makes no sense, man. It makes no sense.
You want me to explain it for you?
Sure.
You're not really a lot of times you are, yes, you're like there are drills where you're training for specific situations that you're going to see in a game, but a lot of the ones on these like drills that you've seen me doing, it's you're training a specific technique. So you want like the drill set up so that your technique will be perfect on whatever you're doing. If it's a collapse dive, low dive, front smother, any of those, you want it so that you don't waste any reps. You get a perfect rep every time. You can focus on all the little like micro movements that you're doing during it. And then in a game, when you see a shot similar to that, you'll be able to replicate it. So it's like using the most efficient, like it's trying to be as efficient as possible. Each rep you do, you're getting a perfect rep out of it. So you're like starting to build up your muscle memory. Yeah. And in games, obviously, it's not like things are set up perfectly, but really like I dive maybe like once or twice in a game. Like it's so much of it is just like, you just really need to be able, you don't need to be able to make like upper 90 saves. It's like just not screwing up on basic saves is what's going to get you really far.
I guess it's kind of like go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to add, but don't forget what you were going to say because this is just really short. They're like special ops. You're special ops are like we need to call in this guy who has a complete understanding of the underwater this. He doesn't have to practice, like the underwater, he can single-handedly swim underwater and go like disarm a nuclear submarine. And he just he doesn't do that every day because that would be crazy. What he does is he trains in a pool and they just time it's like that. Yeah. Whereas, the people above the water have to make sure, that shit's happening. We can't imagine just going out to the field and just hitting the ball with your follow through. Don't actually swing, just stand on one leg. And then doing that over and over again, and then hoping in the game.
It's like crisis management. It's like crisis management. It's like all these you don't dive very often. This isn't going to happen a ton, but you're going to practice this for the moment it happens. And I appreciate that.
I seriously, in the last 3 games I played, or the 3 games before we ended our half season, I left my feet on a dive once in 3 games.
Wow.
I think I had 1 sprawling foot save. I had 1 dive, and the ball wasn't even on target on that. I wasn't even diving. I had 0 diving saves in 3 games.
How many saves did you have?
In those 3 games, real saves,
or just on the ball coming to you, getting it.
Yeah.
The ball coming to me a lot, because I play a very preventive style where I like to cut things out before it actually turns into a shot. If it's coming out for a cross, playing high off your line, all of that. I don't see a lot of shots when I play, but I swear, shots, maybe 7 in 3 games.
Wow.
7 on target. And pretty much all of them but 1 were into my body, and 1 was just a foot save.
You're a big person, too. So.
Well, it's a very perfect transition to anybody who's listening or watching this and has not seen Brandon and I become goalkeepers. You are in for a treat because we're probably on episode 7 by the time this comes out. And what I wanted to say about that is, so what you're saying obviously makes perfect sense. I can understand that, and I can imagine where you could avoid having to fly across the air. but it's just not marketable on Instagram, Tyler. It's just not marketable anywhere else to tell people, hey guys. Yeah.
I don't like you say that one video I posted, one of the last ones where I was just sitting on my butt catching balls just hit into me. Like 20,000 views.
Yeah.
Just literally like.
I mean, I don't know. Well, it's all obviously it's marketed towards goalies, and so they're going to understand. There are millions of goalies.
There's still like an aesthetic, pleasurable thing about that. What you're doing though, like I'm guessing you're saying like it was constantly balls just being hit into you, catching it, and then it coming back to you and catching it. There's like a pattern and a rhythm and a sound, and
it is the hit to catch to like that. I know what you're saying. It's very not aesthetically pleasing, but it is. But it's also like the audio of it. Yeah. I don't know what the word would be.
Rhythm. There's a rhythm to it. The rhythmic nature of that makes it kind of fun. Mm-hmm. But still, I mean, flying through the air.
Oh yeah. It's like every Tom Cruise action movie where he's like flying through the air and he's like like that's what it's like when you're diving.
He's crazy. The dude is crazy. I love him though. If you don't like a good Tom Cruise, like that dude, you understand he does all his stunts. He's diving across buildings. If you do not respect Tom Cruise, you just leave that Scientology by the side for a second. You just leave that alone and let this fucking guy jump across a building and break his ankle for Mission Impossible 4. And he's nearing 60 and just like take a good look at yourself where you're eating your McDonald's today and just fucking, Tom Cruise, he's crazy. Okay.
Well, he knows Korthlop's gonna heal him, so he doesn't have to worry about it any of his injuries.
I think it's Korthlop. Sorry,
I just assume it's one of their little.
Okay. What were you gonna say, B?
I was just saying, I think it's hilarious, when I hear Christians and Catholics and whatever, saying, "Oh, yeah, he's crazy. He believes in Scientology." I don't know. I pretty much believe in most of the stuff he does. It, more so than some of the things you believe in. So,
right.
I would argue that a religion started in the 60s would have a lot more red flags.
Why?
Than something
Why?
I don't know
Why though? Why?
Because a Scientology writer Roy Hubbard, literally was a science fiction writer. When science fiction comes up with your religion in the 60s, that's a lot different than something that started 2,000, 3,000. I don't know how long.
Folktales,
2,000 years ago.
Because even
there
longer.
are folktales, but you could literally go watch surveillance videos of Roy Hubbard stubbing his toe in a grocery store. That's your profit.
I'm playing devil's advocate only to the point of saying, obviously, yes, L. Ron Hubbard was clearly a science fiction writer. He's a little crazy. He's all sorts of other things about him. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the time frame, 60s. Let's imagine there is truth, right? There's a truth to be known about the universe, to be understood about the nature of who we are, why we're here, etc. There's no reason to believe that anybody could come upon truth in the 60s any less so than they could come upon it in 2,000 years ago or 1,000 years ago. So the timing of the thing doesn't matter. I'm not against a prophet, a guy who even now today you're cynical to it because you're alive today, and that's fucking ridiculous. The idea that you can be around to see it because it just doesn't statistically seem possible. So it's more likely. Yeah, that it would have to have happened before. So we give the Bible a pass. We give all those things. We give them a little.
I wasn't there. So how can I say? How can I say?
I don't know. We just got to take their word for it.
Could have took the water and turned it into wine. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe there was a guy that did that back then. I don't see anybody doing it now, but that's possible. That's you can take that mentality.
That's exactly my point. On what I was saying is just there's no extra validity in your religion over Scientology from my perspective, from an outside perspective, being an atheist. I just don't see any validity in any of it. So
validity, is it being true, or is there's just its existence?
There's just no facts or hard things that we can be okay, that's correct. This is the one that's correct, and all the other ones are wrong. That's just not.
I think you're agnostic, B. I wonder if you're actually truly atheist because you haven't stopped searching. I think you still question things.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean,
I think unless you're 100% certain that there's no God.
Oh no, I don't. I have no idea.
So I think you're agnostic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think most atheists are agnostic. I would say I'm agnostic, leaning towards atheist. Like,
that could be.
I would assume that's what most, because it's hard to, like, you can't really just say, oh, there's.
That's the great thing about just being human is like we don't know the answers to everything. Like there's no way to say yes or no to nothing's black and white. We don't even understand. Everything's based on time and all these constraints that we've made. But like, think about fucking space.
Zebras are black and white.
Yeah. What the question becomes, what do we know? Clearly, we don't know. We know that we don't know 99.999% of the things to know in the universe, but we do know something. The question is, as humans, what do we know? Can we put our fingers on something that we have figured out about the universe? Maybe it's more. Maybe we know more. Maybe the truth is more simple than we think, and we're searching for a more complex answer because we're just like, it is impossible that all this is this what.
Like, what if we figure out in 10 years, like, water has like some particle in it that we never knew about, and it just changes everything about everything.
Like it's a super sentient being in civilizations that we just drink all day.
Yeah, it's like a living organism that like we just don't even understand, and we can hook it up to a machine and it can speak to us. Water can.
So that's called, I need to check, and you got your computer right in front of you, obviously. Can you Google panpsychism? I believe that's called panpsychism, which is the theory that literally everything is conscious. So atoms are conscious. A rock is conscious. Now, it's not the same type of consciousness that you and I have, because you can recognize the difference between a dog,
a plant.
Now, plants are. We're going to have, I think in our lifetime, we will confirm that plants are sentient beings.
Okay.
Well, have you seen, I was watching a Radio Lab, which is like a super, not watching, it was a podcast. I think it was Radio Lab. It was talking about trees, and it was like one of the most interesting podcasts I've ever heard, where they were saying that trees actually have ways of communicating with each other.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Through these enzymes, and like the enzymes will go from tree to tree and be like, hey, what do you need? And then that tree will be like, hey, I need more of like iron. And the enzyme will go find some iron, bring it back to the tree. And then also what will happen is if like the climate's getting really hot and a certain species of trees will not survive in the hot climate, they'll kill themselves. The whole species of those trees will kill themselves and dump all their nutrients back into the soil for the other trees to pretty much take it. Like they'll just commit suicide, give everything back to the soil so the other trees can then grow. And then this weird part is with these enzymes. I don't know if that's the right word for them, but they would kill these dust mites for the trees. They would somehow get some nutrition from them, and they would mark them. There'd be like either 2 holes in them if they were still alive, or 3 if they were dead. So they were like systematically marking these little dust mites of like if they were killing them or keeping them alive.
Right.
Like they was like it's
great.
Like
it's fascinating.
So yeah, I don't know about Jesus. With all that information, I'm not sure about Jesus. That's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, to say on the thing that you said is like, what if we're drinking water and we find out that it's a thing, and there's every generation comes. You got to remember, there was a generation. I mean, we could do this continually over it. There was a generation of humans that lived on this planet that didn't know electricity existed. Yeah. They had no idea that you could fire. Then there was a generation. Imagine this, that didn't possibly understand that they could start fires. They didn't know that fire was an element. Possibly, they maybe didn't see it. You could have gone through your whole life and never seen a fucking fire. So like the idea that there are things out there that we're going to harness energy that's possibly out. Oh, it's there. Yeah. It's almost guaranteed to be there, that there's something that we can run. We can run all our entire, the entire electronic, the grid. It's almost certain.
There's something
that we don't know
something like the internet that we don't even know about, obviously. That'll come out in the next 20 years and it'll be insane.
Yeah. It's almost guaranteed to happen, And especially with the technological advancements that are going on, we got Elon Musk trying to attach us up to the internet. I think it's called the neurobrain. Was I right about panpsychism, by the way? Did you find that or no?
Yeah, you're right.
It's panpsychism. Okay, all right, yeah. So yeah, Elon has this thing called like the neurobrain link. He wants to link you up to the internet, because he's bored, I guess. I don't, he's building rockets to go to Mars, but he's like, well, you could just. So that's scarier to me because the internet is already attached to you. It's on my phone. How much quicker do I need it?
No, but if you could attach yourself to the internet, I think there's a Black Mirror episode on this. If you could like download your conscious to the internet, you could become like you create like that would be like a artificial heaven.
Sure.
You could like bring your conscious back into. I think that would be. I mean,
yeah, we're getting there.
Die, like, hey, go chill on the internet. Like we'll create your own little world. You could literally just go live through life again. Go.
Yeah, no, we're getting there. We're gonna get there. I mean, I don't think Elon is.
Or you could already be there. You could already be on like your 6th cycle.
Yeah, you could already be there. But then again, we're thinking technologically. There are people that are already going to say, "Well, fine, that's fine. Reincarnation already is a thing. Like humans you've already gone through a lot." And what if we find out that is technologically employed? We are, it's a mess right now.
Yeah, no. That's exactly. That's my point. Is that when people start talking about religion and which one's valid and which one's not, and putting their whole life revolved around it, like I understand it's a positive thing, but when they ask me, "All right, so what do you believe?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know enough about everything in the universe to know for 100% this is the way it is.
So this conversation is killing me with just a bunch of like 6'3", like 350-pound animals giving themselves brain damage in the back.
Oh yeah,
background of B right
now. Because
the
the audio and the video will switch back and forth to who's talking. You won't catch it the whole time, but I'm sure we'll just we'll tell Titas or Roma to
let's see this run.
Just put on.
Oh, wait, I want to see what is this on now? Are you just on a playlist?
Yeah, it's all Super Bowl. I do. It's on YouTube.
Oh, this is the 2000. Oh no, keep it on that one. The Super Bowl is dope.
We're gonna Patrick Mahomes.
I wasn't in Pittsburgh. I was in Pennsylvania near Pittsburgh for this game.
So I have two things to talk about. One is you're saying that you don't know. We had this conversation in Washington.
Yeah.
Late one night.
Yeah.
Very clear.
Now. Well, you, me, the Biscuits and Tea community right here, we don't know. But there's somebody that knows a whole lot more than we do. There's a group of people, most likely, that are studying and understand the universe in a way we're not even capable of realizing. Because you got to understand, like, from cell phone technology to, I don't know, what is it? Laser technology, certain things that when we finally get to see them had been done years and years before.
The internet was built in the 60s.
There you go. Like that is not even, it wouldn't even make sense to like a dude at that. And so I'm still trying to figure out my car. I was using a wagon last week. Like, let me adjust to this. Yeah. What is going on? So like, somebody, most likely, people that are within governments of, most countries or private, because at this point in, Silicon Valley, there's people with loads of money that are studying things that you wouldn't even understand.
No.
Like they would show you this thing and you'd go, what is it? And then they would tell you what it does. And you would go, I also don't know what that is.
Yeah.
That's what they're solving problems you don't know exist. Those people exist too.
Yeah.
So we got to get one of these people on Biscuits and Tea. That's basically where I'm.
Yeah,
like, can you come on and just tell us what's going on?
Yeah, because it's just like the idea of like not understanding things, but then acting like you know the answers just based on a gut feeling. That is an amazing thing that our humanity has pulled off.
Well, I think that's a thing that everybody does. It also makes it easier.
Well, you'd go crazy.
Yeah,
you'd go absolutely crazy.
That's what I was.
You're just like, I don't understand. Like I'm not 100% sure if I step on this stair that I'm gonna actually land on it and not fall through 6 stories to my death because like all of your atoms line up and you just.
No, I mean like.
Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because there's like like when you touch, there's like not a theory, but like there's like an actual thing where like if you touch a desk or something with your fingers, there's like a small chance that like some of your atoms will then transfer to that desk. So there technically is a possibility that if like you step on a stairs, everything could line up perfectly, that your whole body just goes through the stairs.
Right. This is from men that stare with Stare at Goats. Also, this is where they popularized.
I don't remember what it's from.
It's from a real theory. It's from a real scientific principle. Yeah, you're not. I mean, we're not. We're dumb, so we can't. We can't.
I don't know.
We can't say it properly.
Basic,
but there's someone out there. There's a nerd going, "Wow, well, the X prior principle of the." There's a guy who understands it. But the same theory. I think I haven't seen this movie, but it's with George Clooney. Men that stare at goats, or men who stare at goats, whatever. Something like this, where if you were to walk into a wall, there's this idea, there's this principle, there's understanding that theoretically you could pass through the wall, and that's not science fiction. Your atoms, like, you could go through it. Yeah. In theory, the statistical probability of it happening is fantastically low, and so it doesn't happen. But
yeah.
So.
But if you're just questioning everything that you go through every day with that kind of mentality, you would go crazy in like 10 hours.
Yeah, it would be rough.
You would literally just be stuck. I would just be stuck to a chair and just like, what are you gonna? It'd be crazy.
It would
like
be.
If that's
that's neuroticism. That on the if you were a psychologist, that's people that are highly neurotic are also, highly likely to have to worry about things that they shouldn't be worrying about.
This stuff is my wheelhouse. I know a lot about this stuff, so.
You know a lot about being neurotic.
If you really want to get into all this stuff,
we're very aware.
So this all started from talking about coaching stories. I don't know how we got to this, but I wanted to tell a quick little story about when I was a freshman in high school and I had a football coach, soccer coach, scream at me.
I hope this is the story that I'm thinking of.
So I'm not sure which one you're thinking of, but you can have to remind me if it's not. But basically, when I was a freshman coming into Olathe East, I don't even care anymore. Terry Hare still coaches Olathe East. And this dude he's like Bobby Knight. He's the Bobby Knight of soccer. He's a little short, 5'9" guy. I like him. He's a nice guy. We're cool now or whatever. But he just has a very...
When you say Bobby Knight, you're saying like one of the most successful coaches.
He's very successful. He's won multiple state cups. He's been coaching at I mean, like at the high school level, I would consider him.
He's one of the top dogs, huh?
Yeah, he's been around. He's just been around a long time. So he is very intense. Like, he is known to have break clipboards, scream at people. He's just nuts. So we're getting ready for preseason, and I'm in there. I'm a tiny little freshman, right? But I'm, I can play. I like, whatever. And it's just not the ideal situation if you're a soccer player in America. And he had this idea in his mind, I think, that when I came in, that he had to like toughen me up, and I was like some sort of pussy or something like that. So
he did not do
every time we'd be doing something like running or whatever, like he would have us do these long 100-yard sprints where you run to the 18-yard box and you run backwards, and then you run to the half field, and then you run backwards, and we just do that. And I was exhausted. I was freaking tired. I was like 110 pounds. I was tired. I couldn't run anymore. And I was like going really slow. And I just remember him walking alongside me going, "You fucking little pussy bitch, run, pussy bitch." And I'm just like, wow, I'm a freshman.
I've never gotten that.
I don't have any issue with it. I don't think it's bad, or I was called way worse, throughout college and all that kind of stuff. And it prepared me for real life. But it's just an amazing thing. I can't imagine being a grown man. You couldn't get away with that nowadays.
Is that something you're called on real life? Do you have people just yelling at you down the street during real life? Like just
I'm prepared, yeah. No, yeah, but that was one instance. But the other instance was we were in halftime, and this dude smashed his head on the whiteboard. We were about to go on to play a rival, Olathe South versus Olathe East. And this dude was trying to get us hyped up, and he's like, "And I want to beat these motherfuckers!" And he just like fucking bashed his head on the whiteboard, just blood coming down his face, and he's like, we're just like, what is going on? I'm a freshman. I'm sitting there like, this is not what I'm used to. Like, Emilio John is my club coach, and sometimes I can't even hear him when he's speaking. It's just like terrifying.
Yeah. So I'd never heard the first story, but the second one is what I was just, because I mean, I've played for a lot of coaches, even, youth, never Never seen anything like that. That beats. I mean, I've seen some crazy shit, but to bang. Do you think he didn't? Because here's the thing. Football coaches, and just to bring it back to like Pete Carroll, like all the football mentality, American football mentality. Some of these coaches understand that if they do a thing, they're doing it for show. They do it to get people going, or they want to do. Was this part of did he lose it? Does he have an issue?
No.
Was this a show?
Because he's like
a ketchup packet.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it was always like just like this. That was his coaching persona, and like it did get people hype. Like he's done well. I think it works. Like in some instances, obviously, that's what football coaches act like. If you go and watch, what's that show, Tyler, on Netflix with the junior college football teams?
Oh yeah,
Last Chance U. If you look up any. Go look up
dude.
clips from Last Chance U and listen to some of these guys talk. That's the way that most soccer coaches did talk to me in high school and college.
Is it just because you had a bunch of football coaches? They weren't soccer coaches.
Who did you have? Did you have the
high school?
Well, okay. So I was all of my American coaches were very normal, very just what I would want as coach. When I was, I think, U16 with DC United, we had 2 coaches who were brothers from the slums of Brazil. Like straight slums of Brazil is where they came from. They would tell us all the time that when someone would get stuck in, like, if I brought you guys to my town in Brazil and people didn't know you were with me, you would be dead in 30 minutes. And like, that is not like you would literally be shot, you'd be stabbed, you'd be robbed, and you would just be left out in the streets. Like, just that's just what, dude, this team was a mess. They I can't even explain. Guys would be bringing like BB guns onto the bus and like shooting the U16 players, like younger kids.
Yeah.
Guys would be stealing out of the team stores. Like our team store, we'd leave from RFK and we'd get a call like midway up through New York, and the guy'd be like, "Hey, you guys, the equipment manager or whoever's in charge of the team store says that there's a bunch of stuff missing. We left at 8 a.m. We are the only people that would have been in this store. Like, who did this?" Guys would be taking back weight. This is while we were on the U16. So like U7, was it U? Yeah, I guess U16. So guys be 15. They'd be taking back waitresses from like restaurants and like kick everyone out of their door, like rooms, and like fuck them. And then like this academy was an absolute mess when I was there. It's like actually set up really well now, but it's because it was like early on in it, where they just took all of the best players from every club. Like DC is a very like populated area, and it's a very talented area for soccer. And they took like, here's the best player from this club. Here's the best player from this club.
Of course.
Here's the 2 best players. And it's just like the egos put on. Like it was a bunch of inner city DC kids that were just.
I see. Just out of control.
Guys would be like, they'd be smoking like joints like in the bathroom before we'd be heading off to games, like in the hotel rooms.
Yeah,
like
I wonder why we're not a great soccer country. People smashing their heads on whiteboards. We got drug addicts at 16 playing soccer games. My gosh.
Well, here's
we haven't had any racist stories yet, though, so that's where we're doing well.
Weren't you talking about where though?
I say in the U.S.
Oh,
I haven't had any coaches say anything racist.
Yeah,
which goes
more that happens outside. Yeah, before
where I spent time outside.
Yeah. Before I want, but so when you were talking about the Brazilian guys, you were talking, or they were coaches, right? You said those guys were coaches.
Yeah,
So this reminds me of the other day I saw. The other day, it's been a long time now. I haven't seen this video in a while, but we made the how to tackle video. You remember this?
Yeah.
Partially made some of it in Croatia, and the other half we made in KC.
Yeah.
But the comments there, because we taught how to 2-foot properly, are just, and you know who it is though. It's all these people, Tyler, that have never. It's the most naive. They're these coaches that believe that they're playing like it's like Pee Wee's, pizza club plays against, Donnie's Chuck E. Cheese, and these kids. That's not who the fuck we're talking to.
Yeah,
we're talking to all these kids and all these American kids who who are going to go to. I've been to Brazil. I've been to Bolivia. They spit on us on outside. We had guys with guns fucking protecting us, but. All the time with huge AK, like it's if you think that when you get on the field that they're going to go, I wouldn't 2-foot you, and you won't 2-foot me. And we're going to go by the laws of the game. I'm not talking to you. Shut the fuck up, dude. You have to learn, how to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to know how to 2 for yourself. And you have to know what it's going to be like. So it just drove me insane seeing these coaches going, yeah, no, you shouldn't be teaching this. You shouldn't be. Okay, well, good. Because all your kids, when they play that English team who's just going in hard, who they think they're just going in hard, and you guys aren't going in hard either, and you guys have broken ankles, we'll see.
Yeah,
this is actually, I was literally just thinking about this, where I was talking about with the interview in Manchester with what the goalkeeper was saying, going in with his feet. And I was like, I'm definitely going to bring that up at some point, but I'm going to make a huge disclaimer. If you guys are playing Sunday League, if you guys playing at a low level, and there's not money on the line, there's not careers on the line, do not do this. Right. This is for when there is the people you're going against, know what they're putting their bodies on the line for, and you know what you're putting on the bottom. There's a line where there's rules, but
that's how Sunday League games get out of control too. Is when there's the guy who thinks it's his World Cup final.
It's his chance.
And he's just doing all the things, or the guys that are reckless, because that's not what we said. If you listen, we're not saying. And also, we did have the disclaimer in the video. It's in there. It's like, guys, you're going to get a red card if you go above this is blah blah blah. Don't do this for this. We said all that. Still, they don't understand. You have to learn how to protect yourself.
The perfect example of this type of player you're talking about, or these type of plays, literally for me is Misa.
Yeah.
Misa was this guy would go to the most reckless tackles and somehow not be dangerous, super dangerous. He would mess people up on them, but I don't think I ever saw him get a straight red. He would usually just pick up yellows, and he would just stick them so hard, get up, sorry, pat him on the back, maybe, and just slowly trot away. And that was just every game. He would just no regard for human life, and just
Have you?
But it wasn't.
Have you? Sorry, this is a quick change, but have you ever gotten a red card? Either of you?
Yeah, I got one. I got one in Croatia.
Oh well, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, yours, but not from tackles.
No.
Or from tackle.
No.
Mine was a tackle. You've gotten them from. I lit. I lit someone up. I sent someone to the hospital.
Yeah, I was
someone to the hospital. What? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I sent someone to the hospital in their preseason.
Yeah, but not on purpose.
No. It was I wasn't trying to I like hitting people, but that's it was if you hit somebody, they're not going to come back and they're not going to mess with you anymore that game. And usually it spreads around the league that, hey, this is a really physical goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. Maybe if there's a ball, you're maybe I'm going to get lit up. You're probably going to back off. But this was our midfielder tried to play a ball back to our left back, and he missed him. So it split our left back, or it split our left center back and our left back. And it just literally sent this kid on a breakaway. And I was already 20 yards off my line. So I tried beating him to the ball. He got a touch on it as I was lunging into it. Wow. And then I kind of turned my body towards where the ball was going to my shoulder and just lit this. I just destroyed. I was running full speed and I thought I was going to hit the ball first. And he got the ball first. And I just ran this kid over. Well, and it was.
He knows. And I know too. That's the thing. You've signed an unwritten contract rule also. I avoid big goalies like you. I don't ever have to when people are telling you you better get big, this league is serious. You better get. I'm never gonna get into a fighting match with Pepe or Sergio. No. I'm never gonna do that. I'm gonna figure out how to go around him or to the side of him or fake I'm gonna go into the tackle and then jump over him. It's never gonna be a physical battle. I'm not even trying to play that game.
I'm sure on that play, you probably would have been I'm not sure if you probably would have pulled up, especially in a friendly game. You would have said, I'm not risking this hit. I'm going to pull up. That's where they were the other coach. That's what the coach, when I was walking off the field or when I was getting the key to the locker room, because you obviously have to leave the field after, and I had to wait 5 minutes to get the key. And the guy who brought me the key was then talking shit while our president was there. And he's and finally he just turns to me. He goes yeah, be sick. I just turned our president that means fuck you, right? And he's yeah. I was okay, just get the key and go in. But that's what their big thing was like. Oh, this is a friendly game. Why would you do that? I'm like, well, I'm trying to get signed. I'm not signed yet. I'm trying to pick up a contract. Like this
You
is.
should pull out.
I don't care.
Pull out. If I'm ever in danger, it's rare. It's rare that most players get hit. Like, and obviously, yeah, it's a red card. And I know I can play for those too. I can also leave my foot there and hope that I don't get messed up. You know, you can not pull out of tackles that you hope, and you maybe do that in the box where you know a guy is not trying to hurt you, but he just, you know, he's going into the tackle. You can leave your feet there and you can get hit. And you know, you're not in the middle of the field. He's not going to try and break your leg. He's just trying to reach in. You're aware, but like, yeah, that's part of the problem of having, can you imagine what we're talking about now is pretty in-depth and pretty detailed. Now, can you imagine not playing the game at any level that's high and trying to convey this information to your team or your kids?
I mean, it's a perfect example of our youth players are not ready to go play at the next level, and I wasn't ready at all when I went because the American game is so physical. And when I went on my first recruiting trip, the guy that I was coming in and he was going to be a senior, I was going to be a freshman. Like literally, when I was in the middle of the field, he ran through and he stomped on my foot as hard as he could to injure me, so that I wouldn't be able to come in and be competing with him.
Did you?
Jesus.
Did you? I don't know. I felt like pretty prepared to go.
You play goalkeeper, Tyler. Don't talk to me about all this. It doesn't matter. You're a fucking goalkeeper.
But I'll go.
Everyone shoots the ball at the goal, and you stop the ball from going to the goal. Like, not every single thing about the game changes around you from when you're playing it.
No, but
it makes it faster. What were you going to say? What made you feel so prepared? Also, there's a huge age difference in when you're, you know, and how many years of when you start and be prepared. And also because, it's different. All goalies are better when they're older. End of story. All 18-year-old goalies are going to be better at 34, 35. You know, they're great at 28. They're starting to be amazing, you know? So like the older you get as a goalie.
Honestly, I feel like it's easier to play at a higher level.
Goalie?
At least for me in goal. Like honestly, the easiest time I've ever had playing in goal was in Finland. That's where like the defenders are in the right place at the right time. They like give you the ball at the right weight on the right foot. Like they're in the right spot. Like when you get it's
you're playing your back line is national team players.
If you understand,
you have national team players as your back line. It makes sense.
But I think if you have a good understanding of the game, we're now like where I'm now in Croatia's third tier. It's so much more unpredictable. Like it's just like the most random things happen all the time. Like it's.
Yeah, well,
I'm guessing that's probably a difference between goal in the field.
But you're right, though. If you are good at your position, the higher up it goes, the easier it is.
Absolutely.
As long as, but it's different. What he's also talking about is preparation, though. If you played in the Croatian third league and then wanted to go play with a bunch of national team players, think about your back line there. You got right back who's playing national team. You got the captain of a country is your center back. The other one is is going to get caps if he doesn't already have it. The other one does have caps. You're left. Yeah. So you're talking about a difference here that is so monumentally huge that it's not even comparable. So yeah, it better be easier.
But I just found it very interesting that like how easily it was for me to adapt and coming from college, like literally I played like 2 D1 games in college, and then you just come to that. And then in the first 3 games I played there, like, I mean, guys were saying like me and Ricky, like we're the best combo in the league of goalkeepers. Like, just like how, I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible, but it's also individually. We're talking about collectively, and collectively, no. Collectively, the guys that are playing D1 college that only get to play for 2 months. You get 2 month season. Like, no, it's more than that. I get it, you know, but like, honestly, you're playing not even half the year. You're not playing half the year. It starts in August. By December, it's done. Yeah. You know, with a little bit of a preseason.
December. Yeah. If you're
in the national championship. All right.
Our season was over late September.
Yeah, there you go. So late September. So 2 months almost.
Was it late?
November,
No,
right?
it'd be before Thanksgiving. It'd be like I think first or second week of November.
It's hardly, and you play. Oh, cool! You play a whole bunch of games because we ram them in there. You play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever they do to us in college.
Oh my god!
You know, where they don't care about our bodies at all. They're just like, 30-game season in 2 months.
You say that we're about to get put in that situation now.
Oh,
they've already said our schedule. Like once we get started, if we get started, it's gonna be Wednesday, Saturday. It's literally a college season.
They're just gonna cram
Wednesday, Saturday for a month.
Well,
which for me doesn't matter, but for everyone else,
no. Now it's time you better start. Who knows what they're gonna do also with signings and different things when everything gets started going again.
That's
it's a mess.
I've been wondering.
They're gonna have to reopen.
I've been wondering.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. The whole thing's a mess. Thank God, though. By the way, you guys listening to this, go ahead and leave us a like and a subscribe and a comment for not talking about the coronavirus till the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Instead of how happy are you that you didn't have to hear about that shit until, I don't know, we're 50 minutes in.
Talking about it. Jesus.
You can't.
I don't know. I think this is something that no one in our lifetime.
No,
has seen.
Of course not. I'm not saying that. I just mean you need a break.
No. I was more, but it's kind of, you need a break, but also there's a lot of people really ignorant to what's going on.
Well, I can imagine. Yeah, but more, yes and no.
Did you see those videos of people in spring break in Florida?
No. This is where I stand on it. It's not their job. Like, I don't want to be depending on a bunch of college kids and Gulf Shores to keep humanity from spreading a deadly virus. This is the government. This is the CDC. This is health professionals. These are all people at the top who messed up. And I'm not going to blame a bunch of kids for going to the beach and doing
what happened. Can we explain? Explain for people that don't know what happened first. Explain for people.
There's these videos of all these kids going to Florida. So it's literally kids coming from New York, kids coming from California. Like, it's kids coming from everywhere to go to Mexico, Florida, Miami for the spring break, which is like Mexico. Literally from everywhere. They just come to Florida, and then they're interviewing them like, are you guys worried about the coronavirus? They're like, oh, we're healthy. We're not worried. Like, we're not going to die from it. We're just here to party. We're here to have a good time. So it's this huge hodgepodge of just these idiots all just partying. They're sharing drinks. They're like obviously like sharing like joints. They're like
doing everything.
If any of them are affected, they're all getting infected, and then so they're all there, and then they all go back to where they're from.
I get it. I see. So yes,
it's
so it's a melting pot of possibly, and obviously they're not going to be. Not only do they not care about sharing drinks, doing whatever, everybody's having sex with everybody, and then going back, they're already going to have. They're not getting any rest. Their immune systems are going to be lowered, especially most likely on the way back because they're on adrenaline while they're there. And then,
So now they fly back. They like contaminate a whole plane on the way back. They contaminate whoever they talk on the way back. They brought whatever of them were contaminated on the way there.
Right.
And then obviously Florida has a very old population. Like it's
sure. I can't imagine they're mixing with the old people though.
It doesn't matter if they're mixing. If they mix with someone from Florida, if someone from Florida is there, and then they later talk like mix with someone else, and then they mix to someone else.
What was the issue though? Essentially with it though, it's a ton of people. Has the U.S. said don't go on spring break, no big gatherings? Are we at that point now?
Yeah, the Florida government didn't shut down the beaches. They didn't shut down I don't know if they changed their stance now, but they had everything. The bars were closed.
Yeah,
I mean,
like they basically can advise or like, don't hang out more than 10 people.
They could have shut down the beaches. They could have just said the beaches are.
Come on now. Do you know what that closed room meeting looked like? So here, I'm the governor. All right, B, you're the head senator. Tyler, you're the guy that owns 90% of the businesses on the beaches. All right, guys. Hey, listen. We could close this shit. We could close it. Clearly, we need to do it. But listen, we don't know how long it's going to go. And it's March right now, okay? We all know that we make all our money in May, June, and July. So if it's shut down, we're going to lose a lot of money. Should we shut it down? Bob, what are you thinking?
Well, I have interest in about 7 of the bars, 3 of the strip clubs, and 14 of the convenience stores. So let's just go ahead and keep that open.
Right. All right. Well, Frank, do you have anything to weigh in on that there? I know you own a bunch of hotels on the strip there. So if you think we should shut down entire business, you should miss out on your $100 million this year. we'd gladly do that. I mean, as governor, I feel like I took an oath, and if you think that that's wrong for you to miss $100 million, sir, Frank.
I kind of want to.
yeah, dude. Yeah. So like, think about it. And like, we're joking kind of, but it kind of went like that. It kind of is going like that. People are like, yeah, people are still going to come to Florida. Like, people can travel within the U.S.? Yeah, well, it's still going to be warm here. It's summertime. Dude,
it's a bad situation, and not everything's gonna be perfect because people are stupid. And I just can't get upset about
perfect is
dumb that I know are
perfect is perfect is it's I don't know. Like I've been super impressed with how Croatia's handling it, honestly, personally. Like just today, going to the grocery store, like there's only 120 cases reported here. I think there's 1 death, so it's like not a huge thing.
Yeah, they're doing brilliant
right now in the grand. But so just today in the grocery store, they literally had a bouncer at the grocery store. So only a certain amount of people would be in the store at a certain time. They would have a whole group go through of like 15 people. They would all get their stuff, and once they're all leaving, they'd let in the next group of 15 people. And then once they're there, they took away all the grocery carts. They took away anything that you would hold, and they put all of just the checkout bags that you would usually grab at the end there. So you would like just use the checkout bags. They've started propping up all doors that aren't automatic. So if a door's not automatic, it's propped open, so you don't have to touch it. Like
that's pretty phenomenal.
Obviously, the cafes are closed, which is essentially stealing the heart of Croatian
all
culture.
Balkan culture. Like, the entire Balkan region, they're going to freak out. I know, B, you haven't been there yet. Well, clearly.
Like, if there's people, there still will be people sitting outside of the cafes just at the closed door, just a little cup of coffee.
Oh, they're still doing that?
I think.
Yeah.
Like one or two. I think they just
it's the heart and soul of that entire, what do you call? Yes.
Region.
Exactly. So
region.
I don't know. But in any case, we are, can you guys guess? Let's see how good you guys are at guessing what time.
I'm guessing we're a minute and 7 minutes.
52 minutes.
We are at 1 hour, 3 minutes.
So who's closer?
Oh, but we started a little before. We probably have because we were talking, weren't we? It took us a while to set up there, and also
that should be like an ongoing thing we do, like a competition where like whoever guesses the closest to it gets a tally.
It's kind of easy. It's kind of easy to cheat on.
Why? So just don't look. I didn't look at the time.
You're on your.
I didn't.
Oh, I see.
It says a minute 3 on my phone right here, but I didn't look. I just said 53.
Sure.
So you said, what did you say, Tyler?
I said a minute 7. Hour 7.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, this is it's going to be really good when we can finally have Biscuits and Tea in the same place. I really can't wait for us to have not just our own studio, but for us not just to have our own studio, but like the actual Golarami HQ, because that's going to be out of control. And hosting and holding things there, and it'll just be way easier. Oh, let's talk just real quick because we got like 2 or 3 minutes. I say we should cut this when it's actually around the hour mark. In our first Biscuits and Tea, we wanted to get, I believe, an astronaut.
Yep, an astronaut.
So we should actively, considering the state of the world right now, I'm going to try and up the podcast because it's remote. Like we have to do these Biscuits and Tea remote, which we do, and everybody is, and also people aren't going to be annoyed by that because it is what it is. We need to start tweeting, emailing. Like let's go after actually getting somebody in. We've got this well set up. So the thing that I was just going to say is, cool, we'll get the astronaut on and we're going to solve flat Earth. That's what we're doing. Even if flat Earth's not a thing.
Okay, wait. A kid from my conference at Mary Washington, he went to the Australian secondary, got Player of the Year there, and then he lives in Virginia, and he left to go become an astronaut.
So is he an astronaut, and has he been into space?
I don't know.
If he's gone to space.
He literally left soccer to go become an astronaut. Super smart guy.
That's our guy.
That's perfect.
So this is just...
That's it. Yeah, that's
soccer.
awesome.
He plays soccer. That's all. Like
That's perfect. So
Welcome.
let's
I'll have to dig in. I'll dig into it a little bit more. I literally haven't thought about this kid for the past like 2 years.
Well, if you can get him literally, and if he's not doing anything right now, I mean, all the astronauts are probably like, bitches, we're in space, like they're on the space station. Corona, what?
They're not coming back.
They're like 0 cases of corona on the moon, so I'm gonna stay right here. All right, so cool. So then we got an astronaut. That's solved. But if we can get him by next week, then that can be our guest. Let
me just pull some records.
You know his name. He's gonna have Facebook. He's gonna have something. Tell him what it is. He can look at the links. Blah blah blah. Boom. We got an astronaut. All right. Anyway, that wasn't where I was gonna go. Point is, what else do we want? Who else do we want? Let's pick. Just give it. There's 3 of us here. Let's just take 3 other people that would be good for Biscuits and Tea from any genre.
I want a cannibal.
Come on.
I want to get a cannibal. Why? You want someone who's... How are we going to get a cannibal? How many cannibals are there?
I don't want to talk to a cannibal.
I don't know. We have to go find some
No,
tribe
you don't.
that's like...
Why would we have...
No, I want a cannibal that was like built into their culture.
Okay, so you need to go...
Not someone who decided I don't want a Hannibal Lecter. I want to go find a tribe that apparently decided that eating people is okay.
No, I'm not.
Well,
that episode. If there's a cannibal, I'm not gonna do that.
You have to join that episode because of how against it you are.
You don't have enough meat on your bones to be a threat here.
That's true.
So,
I would be the worst person to eat ever.
You'd be pretty bad. You'd have to be like something after Corona 27.
Yeah. There has to be some really nice meat, like crab meat. It'd be like eating crab. You'd be like crack it and get a little piece. It's really delicate. And good,
succulent right there.
I'm pretty sure I burnt more calories getting this than it actually gave me.
What I actually think. All right, so you're all right. Your vote is done since you've gone for a cannibal. But what I think is you should do it in looking for that. Clearly, you're going to type it and you're going to Google it. But I think if you look on Vice, I think they've had people that are cannibals. So you'll have somebody to reach out to. Bless you.
This is what I think I've seen on Vice. I think I've seen the one where the guy goes and interviews a cannibalistic tribe.
Oh, a tribe. No, I think there are people. Whatever. All right, you're going to look into that. That's your thing. It's your project.
There's people in tribes.
Sure. You're going to get them on this podcast so we can talk to them. I don't know. That's your thing. B, you got something? You got anything a bit more sophisticated?
Oh,
he's gonna say
that's Perfect World out of Patrick Mahomes.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
Mahomes is coming.
Yeah, no, I think that we should have someone from the music industry on.
Music industry,
like someone like a rapper, or like maybe something like that. I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, obviously. Well, everything would be cool since we talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. Anybody is cool. It is cool. It would be cool to have a cannibal. I mean, think about when we do get like 10, 12 episodes of this going, and we've got a cannibal, then we got, Dr. Dre, and then, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like Dr. Dre. Coming up after the cannibal, we've got, yeah. All right. So, okay. Cool. Someone from the music industry, a top producer you'd be cool with, or you'd be cool with like somebody who's making beats or something like that. All right. Well,
I want to talk to somebody who likes listening to that Korean band, like who's in the, the
K.
Yeah. I want to speak to a music producer for that genre of music.
Oh, wow. The K-pop, like a K-pop top producer or something like that.
Yeah.
Or someone from there.
I'm sure that's exactly set up how the U.S. like pop is set up, where it's just one guy who makes like 90% of the
who knows? I don't know.
You know that for like American, like for everything on the top of the Billboard, it's like one guy makes like 90% of the beats. For,
I had no idea.
Yeah, I want to meet somebody. Like, it doesn't have to be K-pop, but I want to meet a musician, like a producer that is in one of these niche markets, and they're just making all this money, like making this specific kind of really bizarre music that we can understand.
Have you seen Kenny Beats? Have you seen his YouTube
No.
channel?
No, I don't know.
Super. You guys should check this out. It's really cool. So he's a producer, and he invites these rappers to come on. It's called The Cave, and he has these rappers come on to his show. He makes them a beat while they just kind of like bullshit with each other, and then the person will go and freestyle over the beat, and then that's like they're like 10-minute like videos. Okay. So he's had, I think, Denzel Curry on. He's had Earth Gang on. He had Vince Staples on. Again, it's just a bunch of guys that he's actually friends with. So it's just like you see, like you kind of get like inside look about a little bit of how guys make music. You get a little more insight on the artist, and you get to see some cool little. That's cool. Like song at the end. It's really like all right. I'll send you guys a link after.
Okay, so someone like that.
But someone like really, that. But he's like changed the whole. Nobody knows producers. Nobody knows the personality of a producer.
I think they'd be cool to talk about or talk to is what I mean.
No, they are. They're like very behind the scenes, so it's kind of cool how he brought like his brand to the forefront. Yeah, and he's like that's literally I can name him. I can name Clam Casino. I can name like. Very few producers I can actually name off the top of my head.
All right, so we're pretty good. So we've got Tyler's going to find us a cannibal. B, you'll take some links. You'll get a thing and have a little look into the producer. I think this is because it's nice and varied here. Actually, also, I think what we need to do because we already got an astronaut. All right, let's just put that on the books. That's already we've already got
that's already.
Yeah.
Astronauts done.
How are you going to find a cannibal? It's illegal.
Overseas, though.
Do you know? Okay, we find other things that are legal, so I don't really.
You're going to find somebody who eats humans.
And they're going to be on Biscuits and Tea, and they're going to describe to us why they do it, how it's in their culture. We're going to ask them questions about things, and
you might be a little judgmental towards it. Maybe
I hate cannibals. I'm going to go out on a limb. I hate cannibals.
I can't wait for this episode. It's going to be so awesome. This is all going to happen, people. If you guys are listening to this thinking that this is not going to happen, all of these episodes are happening.
I don't like racists, and I don't like cannibals.
He's drawing the line, people.
It's going to change my life. I'm going to end up being like, I kind of understand cannibalism. Yeah. I like them.
I don't really need that pinky toe.
Maybe you're gonna self cannibalism or whatever that's actually called. Auto cannibalism. Yeah.
I mean, we're all cannibals if you think about it, because your body will eat its own muscle as energy.
There you go.
If it comes to it.
If it doesn't, all right.
We're all cannibals.
Boom. Tell that to the cannibal and see how he feels about that. Yeah. Okay, but no. The last quickly before we end, I think given that's so far out there, boom, we got a crazy thing happening with the cannibal. Cool music industry, entertainment, great. I want to bring us up with some sort of Rhodes Scholar. I want us to ask him stupid fucking questions. I just want him by the end of it to be annoyed at having to have come on and us trying to say, well, how come you haven't solved cancer? Something, some incredibly smart human physicist.
I can hit crossbar from 30 yards out. Yeah. Why can't you just alter the cell?
We've solved. All three of us are in a different place, and we're all talking right now. Can you go ahead and figure this out? Like whatever it is. I don't know, but something like this.
You're gonna literally cause this person to quit their research, and they were gonna be the ones who were gonna eventually solve cancer, and you're gonna drive destroy the human race.
So that's what I think. I want to look for somebody who is just like they have a bunch of diplomas, just someone incredibly smart, and just bringing them onto a place because they're not like what we've talked about is just a bunch. We're just guys fucking around, and he's not having these conversations, and he's gonna be able to tell us a bunch of cool shit. And we're going to come from a perspective that he has no idea, You
don't know that.
It's most likely. No idea. It's more. Well, I don't think that he's doing all those shows.
You can't prepare for the show. That's the best part. Is like you can have your little PR people and all that stuff, but
I would say if you had a group of friends that you liked getting really drunk and really high with, you
now how many Rhodes Scholars, Tyler, do you think spend their time every week getting drunk and high in between writing their thesis on how to where are all these? Where are they?
I don't know. Maybe it's a few acid trips, but
well,
I think that might
I would
help
agree.
him,
I would
but-
agree. I just think that it's still going to be. This is still going to be a different. This is going to be a different world. So, in any case, all right, guys, we thank you, everybody who's listening. Check out GK Golarami, Golarami Shoes, Golarami.com, all the rest of our stuff. It should be right down below. If not, it's in the show notes. And I don't know what we say at the end of this, B.
Shout out to the Wu-Tang.
We have an intro. Should we just shout out to the Wu-Tang till they come on Biscuits and Tea?
Yeah.
Is that our thing?
Wu-Tang!
Wu-Tang and Will Smith. Shout out to fucking Wu-Tang.
I want to talk to the Wu-Tang, baby.
Later.